Here's a Westone Spectrum LX. These were made by the Matsumoko company out of Japan. These were first released about mid-90s and have gained a lot of popularity over the last few years. In the 90s and that, even into early 2000s, you could pick these things up for under $100. This particular one I got probably late 90s for $65, and it was fully functional, and it was just one of those brands that nobody really recognized as decent, you know. A lot of people, if it's not a Fender or Gibson, you know, they don't have time for it. But the fallback on these, on this Tremolo system, if you can see the one string saddle, one of the fingers is broken off of it. And that broke after I owned it for a number of years, but finding parts for that is next to impossible. So what I plan on doing is replacing this with just a flat bridge, because I don't use the actual tremolo a lot. But this had a great tremolo system. This one doesn't have a name on it, but it has a locking nut like you'd use with your Floyd Rose tremolos or anything like that. The other great thing with these is they used Magnaflux pickups. You got a humbucker in the bridge in the neck position, single coil in the center, selector switch, obviously three-way, and volume and two tone knobs, and they're all pole pods. So your volume one gives you a mid boost if you pull that. The other one's coil tap, or not coil tap, yeah, coil tap or phase reverse is what the other two do. So a lot of customization, or a lot of different sounds you can get out of it just with that feature, and that wasn't a normal feature in most guitars. The knobs are relatively cheap. They're just kind of plastic, and those are original. This one I'm pretty sure is somebody replaced. Rosewood fingerboard, and these things are solid. It's a solid maple body. So there's, if you're familiar with the older Strat guitars and your older Les Pauls, they have a lot of weight to them, which is typically a sign of quality. But this was a great guitar. There's their logo. These retailed new for about $500. Now, on the used end, they're dang near $300. Where, like I said, 15, 17 years ago, any of your pawn shops or used gear shops were dang near giving these away. So definitely something worth checking out. Like I said, Westone Spectrum LX. They did also make an FX, a Spectrum FX, and basically the only difference is the FX, I believe, has a set neck versus the bolt-on neck.